we've got to take a look at that.
All right, I want to move to casinos. Mark Fisher, do you support the repeal of the casino law in Massachusetts, the repeal that will be on the ballot this November, that all Massachusetts voters will be looking at, and why or why not?
I do support the repeal, and here's the reason why, Bob. I don't think that we'd even be considering casinos if Massachusetts had been business friendly and were inviting in good, well-paying jobs. That's what I want to do. I'd love to be able to repeal the casino bill and do that 4-point program that I talked about and make Massachusetts business friendly like Scott Walker has made Wisconsin business friendly. And in 3 years, he turned around tens of billions of dollars in deficit and created a $1 billion surplus. Let's get people into good paying jobs and not going to casinos and having to lose their money in order to pay people who work at the casinos. I think that's a bad recipe for Massachusetts.
What's your message then to Penn National, which is already in the ground, building the slot parlor on the site of the Plain Ridge Racetrack in the town of Plainville? They were approved, they're building, they're starting soon to take job applications for 500 jobs. What's your message to them?
Well, they better put some money into the vote no on the ballot question. They're taking a risk.
Charlie Baker, casino repeal?
Well, I always thought the best answer on the whole casino thing was to get the state of Connecticut to write Massachusetts a check for $300 or $400 million every year, not to build a casino. But in the absence of that opportunity, I've always been a one casino person. There are a lot of people from Massachusetts who show up in the parking lots of places in Rhode Island and Connecticut. I think having one casino in Massachusetts available for people in Massachusetts made some sense to me. I will vote yes. I will vote no on the repeal question, primarily because I think
so keep the law.
Yeah, I think the Springfield proposal, for example, is a pretty imaginative proposal, and it's $800 million in a part of Springfield. I've actually walked the site out there, and the site out there is basically the southwestern part of the city, which has been decimated by the tornado that went through there. It's in terrible shape overall. It gives you a chance to reconfigure I-91, which desperately needs to happen out there. And I don't see anybody else signing up to spend $800 million to invest in the city of Springfield.
But if you keep the law, you're not going to get your one preferred casino. You're going to get the Springfield Casino. We're almost certainly going to get either the casino in Everett or the casino at the Suffolk Downs Racetrack in Revere. We'll have the Plain Ridge slot parlor, and we may, on top of that, have an Indian casino in southeastern Mass.
Well, the Indian casino is kind of a separate question in many respects, but I said all along that I think the Gaming Commission should do nothing with respect to the Boston decision until after the vote. And I've also said that I think there are real issues just from a pure conflict point of view with respect to the Gaming Commission and both of those sites in Boston. And if we just slow rolled this and ended up with one site in Springfield and actually gave it a chance to use, Mark's phrase earlier, to see how it actually works, I think that would be a pretty good outcome.
So what's your assessment of the job being done by the State Gaming Commission? And if elected, would you ask the Commission Chairman, Stephen Crosby, who has been racked by some conflict questions, to resign?
Well, I certainly would want to have a conversation with him as governor about his goals, expectations, and all the rest. But I have said on several occasions, and I think I was one of the first people to say it, that I thought he should recuse himself from the vote in Boston because of some of those conflicts.
Mark Fisher?
Well, I hope that the repeal goes well, and I won't have to make that decision. But if the casinos are part of what the Massachusetts voters want, then I have to abide by their wishes, and I would ask the gaming commissioner to resign.
You're listening to a debate between the two Republican candidates for governor of Massachusetts here on 90.9 WBUR and WBUR.org. I'm Bob Oakes. We're joined this hour by the candidates, Mark Fisher and Charlie Baker. And Charlie, I think this next